I don't know if you've ever been in an organization or a company that had a hierarchy, like a chain of command, that no matter what your job was, that if the one above you, your leader, your boss, your uh, commander, whoever it is, if that person just directly above you gave you an order, you had to drop what you were doing and complete that. I don't know if you've ever been in that type of situation. Or the idea was there, but it never was requested of you. It's not something that happened on the regular. This is the Warrior Podcast, episode 199. And let's talk about availability and our attitude about it. So, are you available? Are you so busy in your life that everything is scheduled down to the minute? I know it's very hard in a modern day to have that available time or have that ability to break free from your schedule, especially when it comes to following the promptings of God, your King. See, we as His bondservants, we've been bought with a price and we're not our own. And so at the moment's notice, the Lord puts something on our heart, and we have to be open to that, to listening to that. We've discussed how that's got to be done through a constant relationship of uh, prayer and reading His Word, and this back and forth communication, almost like breathing, which I receive in and I expel out. In this relationship, there's going to be shifts in what we need to be doing, where we need to be going, what we need to be about. See, God doesn't fit into our life, we fit into His. And I think there's a tendency to look at the Christian walk, the walk with Christ, as being a addition to what you already have. When Jesus is very clear, if you put anything above Him, you do not deserve Him. Now, I'm not saying this to get on to you or make you feel bad about your current scheduling or attitude about it. It's really to just open your eyes to the truth of God's way. And that is the way of Jesus, the way of the cross, the way of death. Everything else doesn't matter but you bearing your cross and following Him, denying yourself and following Him. And it's in this availability that when we do this, when we are prompted to do something and we follow it, how there's fulfillment in that, how there's purpose in that. And He continues to use us more and more. And it's way, I already used the word fulfilling. It's way more fulfilling than we could ever have otherwise. And that's not the reason why we do it. That's the side benefit of it. So the reason why we do it is because that's what we're built for. That's what we're made for, and that was what we were saved for. See, He prepared good works for us ahead of time that we should walk in them. And that's the reason why we're saved by grace through faith, and that not of ourselves. So we have to be willing to be available, no matter how tight our schedule is, no matter how much of a priority that thing that you have on your agenda to do. It may come to where you're called to do something else and to drop that in a moment's notice, completely change your plans, completely change your trajectory. It will be overwhelming and compelling. Why? Because you're so in tune with that voice. He says that my sheep will hear my voice. They will not be led astray. So we need to listen for His voice and obey it. Because it's in obedience that there's this fullness of joy. And remember, we only obey because He has empowered us to do so. So it's not like I'm super strong or there's boasting. There's no boasting. Boasting in the Lord only. So keep yourself available. Be open to hear orders and drop what you're doing and accomplish that immediately. And then wait for further orders. That's the way of the warrior, who's under authority, who's under a warrior king. All right, guys, as always, you're a warrior designed for God's glory. So walk in that and be available to the orders, the changing orders of your king. All right, as always, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll continue to put it out. Also, if you go on Spotify, under Man on Purpose Podcast. I'm starting to do stuff there as well. So check that out, subscribe it, listen to it. They're a little different. I usually do those when I'm on the road. If I'm driving to the mission, it's thoughts as I travel in my car. And I'll go ahead and let you know that most of the inspiration of everything that I do is while I'm in my car. So that's why I decided to start taking advantage of that. Because by the time I get to my destination, I've already had such a great conversation with myself, but really in the Lord, that sometimes it's hard to duplicate. So, all right, until next time, peace.